Last month, the inflation rate hit 6.2%. That's the worst inflation we've seen in over 30 years, and now economists are beginning to pull back on their insistence that it's a passing fad, i.e. transitory. But as a house hacker, I sleep a little easier at night. House hacking provides an incredible 1-2 punch against inflation. They say real estate is the ultimate hedge against inflation, and house hacking just supercharges it. In this video, I'm showing you how house hacking beats inflation. I'm Jon Schwartz, a house hacker and realtor in Los Angeles, California, and this channel's focus is data-driven, fact-based analysis of the housing market and how you can hack it. If that sounds interesting, maybe hit that subscribe button down there. I won't look, it's up to you. So, inflation sucks because it diminishes the value of money. Your paycheck doesn't go as far because stuff costs more. And if you have money in the bank, as I do at the moment, it's literally losing value. With a year-over-year inflation rate of 6.2%, the amount of actual money lost in a year really sucks. So, it's important to put strategies in place to hedge against inflation, which really means two things. One, you want to own assets that maintain their value despite inflation. And two, if you can, you want to invest in financial instruments that actually benefit you because of inflation. And when you house hack, you get both. Let me show you how. Though first, a very quick explainer to any newbies who aren't familiar. House hacking means buying more home than you need and renting out the extra space. My house hack of choice, which I'm executing now, is buying a duplex to live in one side and rent the other. Check out this video, also linked to below, for more information about why house hacking a duplex is such a good idea, regardless of inflation. Anyway, you can also house hack everything from a 2-bedroom condo to a 4-plex. Now, back to inflation. Item number 1 in hedging against inflation is owning assets that maintain their value despite inflation. Now, you may be thinking I'm talking about owning the house or the duplex here, but I'm not. Home values fluctuate, and since 1983, home prices have not been factored into the government's measurement of inflation. But when you house hack, you don't just own property, you own an income stream. If you're house hacking, say, a duplex, you own the income stream of the rent collected from the other unit. And rent is one of the largest components of the Consumer Price Index, the government's tool for tracking inflation. The category shelter makes up almost 1/3 of the CPI. What this means is rent grows with inflation. Or rather, inflation reflects the growth of rent. Either way you slice it, you'll be able to raise rent annually to keep up with inflation. Even in rent-controlled markets like mine, the allowable rentable increase is tied to CPI. So higher rent increases are allowed in inflationary environments. So forget about buying gold or bonds as your inflation hedge. That shit's boring. Buy an income stream that grows with inflation and you're set. Okay, item number 2 in hedging against inflation. Invest in a financial instrument that actually benefits you when inflation kicks in. And ladies and gentlemen, in this category, there is no better financial instrument than the residential 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Some quick background. All real estate falls into 2 categories. Residential and commercial. Residential real estate is anything that has 4 living units or less. So we're talking about condos, houses, duplexes, triplexes, and 4plexes. Everything else is commercial. Apartment buildings that have 5 units or more, strip malls, office buildings, warehouses, this is all commercial. And the distinction between residential and commercial comes down to the financing. Residential property is eligible for residential loans, and commercial property is only eligible for commercial loans. Between these two, commercial loans suck. They're usually short-term, like 5 or 7 years. They often have floating rates, which means your payment can change over time. Commercial loans kind of blow. Residential loans are a whole different ballgame. The most common residential loan is the 30-year fixed rate loan. Because your interest rate is fixed, your payment never changes. When you buy real estate with a 30-year fixed rate loan, your payment remains the same for 30 years. Think about that for a second. You buy a duplex with a 30-year fixed rate loan, meaning you'll have the same mortgage payment in dollars year in and year out for 30 years. Meanwhile, inflation is making dollars less valuable every year. So in real terms, your mortgage payment is shrinking. Let's use just the past year as an example. Let's say you bought a house in October 2020 with a $2,000 mortgage payment. Come October 2021, the year-over-year inflation rate is 6.2%, meaning an October 2020 dollar is worth about 94 cents in October 2021. That blows. Except that your $2,000 mortgage bill in October 2021 is the equivalent of a $1,883 mortgage bill in October 2020 dollars. You've taken your largest expense, housing, and pegged it to a dollar amount. Over time, because of inflation, that dollar amount represents less and less value. House hacking really is the ultimate 1-2 punch against inflation. Your income stream grows with inflation, while your mortgage payment, in real terms, shrinks with inflation. Check out this video to learn the 5 steps to get started with house hacking, and subscribe for more videos about hacking your housing market. See you next week.